Hey, welcome back to another video. This is the second in a series of me learning how to press books, and in a recent order of books from Things from Another World, I picked up The Nice House on the Lake #2, and it was pretty badly damaged. And this experiment, if you will be something that's sort of proving, or hopefully prove against my theory that if a book has a significant amount of impact damage, that it can't just be completely pressed away. Now, hopefully I'm wrong with that, but let's take a look at the book so you can see the kind of damage that I'm talking about here. So I graded it as a 8.5, but with the potential for pressing. So if we take a look at this book, what are the issues? Pretty much down here is the big problem, right there on that corner. That's the big issue. You can certainly see the curling that's going up as well, up and down the book on the side here, all the way up and down. And then the back, what I notice is about an inch here on the DC label, right there. You can see right there, there's quite a bit of, it's like a combination of denting and curling and impact damage there. So with all of that, I assigned a grade of an 8.5 for this book. Now, I want to give it a chance. I want to give it a good press to see just how much of that I can get out. And I'm going to give it a quick press. This is a modern. I'm going to flip through it real quick. The other thing that's going to be a challenge is these staples right here in the middle. They're raised, so I'm probably going to have to use a couple of boards to protect that. Putting a single board in there against it, I know it's optional, but for me, when I see the staples raised up instead of flat, I feel like I have to protect the book a little bit more with two boards. So let me walk you through what my process is here. So my supplies for a modern quick press are pretty straightforward. I've got my SRP paper, magazine board, and then I've got I think it's the 65-pound cardstock. Got 2 sheets of that up there. Another magazine backer board, another SRP, and then another magazine board for the middle, but I'm going to grab a second one just because I want to, and I'm going to use 2 boards for the center. So a lot of materials there. I'm going to open the press. You can see what's in there. So I already have a steel metal plate, and that goes on the bottom. Otherwise, it's just this foam pad here in my heat press. So I'll give this a chance to warm up as I make the sandwich. So I'll go ahead and press it down. I have it set so that it's closes nice and easy. Turn it on. Now I have a couple of different methods that I use. All right, I'm going to set it to 165. This is sort of the Captain Mike version, I would say. And I'm going to put it back to 300 seconds, down from 600. So essentially this is a searing or a quick roasting of the book. So I'm going to let it warm up. So there's different methods. You can put it at a lesser temperature for a little bit longer, or even a lesser temperature for 300. But what I found is, especially when these impacts are quite deep, like we've seen on this book, I find it better to go ahead and nearly sear the book and then let it cool off for longer in a quote-unquote cold press, which is basically just leaving the book in here. So while this is warming up, I'll go ahead and make the sandwich with all of this. So I'll first take the 2, let me find the book under this mess. I'm going to take the 2 magazine boards. I'm going to open it up to the center. And glossy side always towards the pages, and just very gently push it between the 2 staples. And I'll just flip it over, open it up again, And I'm just barely holding the book, and I'm barely letting the boards themselves slide right in. And I'm barely holding this together. There's very, very light pressure keeping this together. I'm going to open up the last page, grab the 65-pound cardstock, again, just letting it gently sit in the book, and open up the first page. What I like to do, I like to hold the book this way, again, letting gravity just keep everything in place. Open up the first page, cardstock, line it up. All right, I have more or less the book ready to go. And then I'm going to sit it down just for a second because the press alarm is about to go off. So it's heating up to 165. So the press is very, very hot, ready to go. I'm going to let it sit at its current temperature just so it continues to warm. Kind of want to do this for maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to let that bottom plate just get really, really nice and hot. So I'm going to take my time here and just make sure I've got everything kind of lined up nicely. Again, letting gravity just hold everything in place, holding the books this way. And essentially what you want is a piece of SRP paper on this side and that side. And I'll do this as I place the book in the press. Alright, so for the most part the press is ready to go. And so what I want to do is I want to take my magazine backer board. I'm going to place the rough side down on the plate, and then the SRP paper, like so, right on the plate. And then, depending on which side has the most damage, I would argue that it's kind of equal in this case. I'm going to lay the book right here on it. And then, on top of the book, again, SRP, and finally that magazine backing board. And I try and keep the glossy side towards the book. So if I open the press, quite hot, lay this in the center, just like that. Take my sandwich and lay it in the center of the magazine board, making sure I didn't move any of the other boards or cardstock. Lay the SRP paper down, covering the book entirely, and then same thing, glossy side with the magazine board right on top, covering it. And then the last step will be putting another plate right on top. And then we give it a nice gentle press, like so. Should be a little bit of resistance there, but you're really not having to overdo it to close it. So now this is going to count down for about 5 minutes. And then after the 5 minutes, I'm going to leave it here in the press, just cooling off for about, I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. And hopefully we'll see an improvement in the book. So we'll check back and see what it looks like when it's all done. All right, we're back. This, I think, stayed here in the cold press for a little bit longer than the 4 to 6 hours, probably closer to 8 or 10. I ended up just having a busy day and decided to leave it in the cold press. So here we go. Let's open up the press very gently and see how it turned out. I take the first metal plate off and set it aside. And the parchment paper and first magazine board as well. Alright. And here we go. I'm not using gloves. I know some people say use gloves. I'm not. I'll just go ahead and use my good old bare hands for it. I'm going to grab the bottom parchment, basically everything, and just kind of lift it up and see if I can take a look at first glance. Yeah, looks better. Looks much better. Not bad. All right, let me take it out of the sandwich. You can really take a look at it here. Alright, so that's that cardstock. And let's see, I'll take out the other cardstock here. Just trying to be extra careful with it. I kind of want to take a look at the inside here with the staple, so I'm just going to let the book sort of fold open on its own. Looks like it stayed pretty nice. It has that first little crackling. I don't know if you can hear that. And at first time I started pressing, it scared me to death. Like, oh no, I charred the book. You didn't. It's okay. It's normal. It's all right. But you hear that crunching. A little scary. So again, it's not perfect. You can see on that corner, you know, when you put the light right on it, it's definitely still has something there, but way better than it was before. Much, much better. And certainly on the back as well. You can still see almost the remnants of that dent, but it looks more, I don't know, part of the book. So it's not perfect. Is it an 8.5 right now? No, it's not. I don't think so. The spine looks like super clean. Really nothing there. Again, still down there. I would still look at that and still be concerned, but it doesn't have that crushed look. So maybe I improved it up to a 9 or a 9.2, possibly a 9.4. Would I send it into CGC just for fun? I might. Still got a little bit of that crunching, but want to open it up too and just check the pages and make sure. Yeah, I don't see the staple issue, so I'm glad I put the two boards in it. Want to make sure the pages aren't sticking together either. No, they're still separate. Has that very, very light spine tick. There is still that one issue there. I think that's color breaking, so press isn't going to help that. So I would be comfortable putting this as a 9.2. My arm could be twisted that it's a 9.4. Again, there's that troubled corner. And then just to be on the safe side, what I like to do is I have a clear pressing board that I got from Immaculate Comics. I think it's like they're medium-sized. And I'll just leave it here overnight just because I can, and maybe even put something else on top of it. I really like the clear pressing board. It looks nice there. And I'll just let that sit overnight. I don't think it's going to improve it any more than it is, but it's going to prevent it from like curling up again, or the pages reacting to coming out of the press. So I'll just leave it there nice and flat, let the book kind of relax. So not bad. Again, took it from an 8.5 up to that 9.2, 9.4 range. Let me know what you think. Did you like the pressing experiment? Would you like to see more? Do you have any tips and tricks you'd like to share with me to improve my process? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Happy collecting, and see you next time.